All right, so in furtherance of trying to get more word about improving voter education, information, participation, leadership recruitment process, we've got Michael Oni here with us. He is a professor of political science, Babcock University. Good morning, and thank you for coming on this morning.
Good morning, sir.
Well, I'm sure you've been observing this scenario because your students will ask questions of you as well of Nigerian politics.
Yes.
But is it usually straightforward, Nigerian politics and political science, when you're teaching in school?
Yeah, making me to laugh.
The students were asking in class.
Pull apart.
Oh, wow.
Let me just explain what happened to Wike to you. Biological deduction and political, by politics and political logic. Tambuwa was supposed to have supported Wike in their primary. Tambuwa came out to dissociate himself from him. That is not enough. Again, selecting Wike as the vice president, 14 voted for him. 3. Okowa won. Is that political science? So we call that one politics, not politics. So there is difference between politics, which we teach in political science, and politics, which Nigerians are playing. So they are
just be clear. Politics and politics.
Politics.
Tricks.
But isn't that the science of the politics? I mean, the political
No.
of the actors you have just cited.
Politics is the science of study, discussing, and predicting politics. But this one, the second leg,
So
politics.
can somebody study politics?
No. We don't teach that.
No. Can you encourage them to
don't
look at them and see if you can understand this politics?
I'm giving you an example of Wike. That is politics. When you sit down...
That is politics or tricks?
Tricks.
Politics.
Yes.
Okay.
Politics is what we teach in political science. But what operates in Nigerian political environment is politics.
Do you see the need for politics to now be taught in political science?
No, we cannot.
Prepare and equip
no.
Your
Why can we be
students?
teaching something that is ungodly? Something that is... no.
But it's a reality.
Politics is ungodly. When you agree with people around 5 a.m., by this time, it has changed. That is politics. I mean, saying one thing, doing another thing.
Okay,
but what I learned and what I'm teaching my students is politics, the science of politics.
There are a number of things that have begun to influence our politics and consequently our leadership recruitment process. Sentiments of religion, of ethnicity, and all those things. Is there a place for that in political science?
Like I told you, political scientists will tell you to win election, you have to be acceptable, you have to be voted for by your people. But look at 2007 presidential election in Nigeria, the worst ever by my investigation, where people were voting 10, 20 times, using palm kernel to vote. Those are part of politics. People are looking for power at all costs, and that is what is bringing problem into Nigeria. Ordinarily, this is democracy. It's on the top. If it's recognized and counted, we are okay. But in Nigeria, we are seeking for power because people are now equating power with wealth. Therefore, everybody wants to be there. Everybody wants.
Gratifying to know that Beavers has taken care of the palm kernel part of it. Palm kernel doesn't have a face, so that one's. But I'm talking about the sentiments, that usually play.
Yes. Now, sentiments of ethnicity, sentiments of religion, they are there. It has been there. It is not now. Look at the days of our Sikh, Aminu Kano and Co. It's been there. If you look at 1979 election, to be sincere, 92% for Ogun State for Awo, 91 in Oyo, 90-something in Ekiti, in Ondo that time. Everywhere. For MPP in the East, MPP, no, it was winning election in the East. NPN was the only national party, but the domain of control is majorly in the North, so it's been part and parcel of Nigerian politics. And I think with time and a lot of sensitization, people will want to vote for.
Prof, I'm asking if there is a place for it in the study of political science. Is there
it's part
is
of
there
the
a place?
politics. It's part of the politics. There shouldn't be. There shouldn't be. Now,
Isn't that where you say, if they say politics is a game of interests, so if interests come to play, how is that politics?
interest of ethnicity, I say it shouldn't be. That's what I'm telling you. It shouldn't be. But in Nigeria, it's the major thing. This is my man. This man is from my area. You see, the current youth revolution, if it actually comes into, if the result is realized, maybe we may be out of the ethnic tango, religious tango. Now they are even hitting deep into Nigerian politics, and it is unfortunate. It shouldn't be.
And part of the conversation is that, we now find some of the candidates parading their intertribal marriage as credentials for unifying Nigeria if they become elected, which is critical, But how then do we begin to make them to commit to that promise of unifying Nigeria ahead of the presidential election?
That's what I'm saying. You see, you say it's Nigerian politics now is essentially ethnic-centric, religious-centric. People are not looking at, can this man do it? Is it possible? Is it capable? Or people are looking at extraneous variables, what we call extraneous variables in research methodology, factors that should not go near, but are now taking the center stage.
But the need for a united Nigeria is just as critical as those other extraneous factors.
We have to work together. Look at what, I've measured severally how elections are used to measure national integration. And I've discovered, but for June 12th presidential election, 2015 and 19, our presidential elections have been essentially parochial. But for June 12th, you see the North and the West voted together. That is towards national integration. 2015, the North, the West, and the South, part of the South voted together. 2019, it was like that. There may be a kind of situational differences in the upcoming election.
How can we get 1993 to happen again?
1993 to happen again.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying about 2019. It may happen. It's too far for me to be making assertive statement here and on the air. It's too early for me. But towards that time, we will know whether it is realizable.
Is that what you mean when you said, just before her question came in, that you are seeing a kind of paradigm shift?
That's what I'm saying. Yes, paradigm shift from two angles. Two angles, then the other angle. The other angle from Tinubu side, the other angle from Obi side. So whichever that plays out close to the election, there may be paradigm shift.
Well, we also have Princess Hammond Obels, who is the director of Electoral Hub. She joins us virtually. Good morning, and thank you for joining us on the program today. Well, tell us, what role or what is Electoral Hub up to, especially in the build-up for these elections, for instance?
Okay, good morning. Thank you for having me on the program. So what we do at the Electoral actually is to promote electoral knowledge, accountability, and integrity. So what we've been doing is to monitor the process, trying to collect the data that we'll analyze. And we've also been busy with the off-season governorship election. So like Ekiti that just happened, and we're concentrating on Osun right now. But to come back to the issue on the discussion, which is really recruitment of leadership and 2023 elections. Actually, from our own perspective, monitoring the process, this conversation should have happened before the political party primaries. Because where we are at now is like when you want to cook beans and you have to select the beans before cooking. And in selection, you remove the bad beans and the stones and all whatnot from the beans so that you only have clean beans to cook. Now that has happened. So the beans is already on fire. So you cannot do selection anymore. The selections have happened. We now have candidates going into the election. So we cannot be talking about issues of, having proper recruitment and to get the right candidates for the elections. Right now, Nigerians are left with the choices the political parties have presented. And we have three choices, really. We have former Vice President Alhaji Atiku Abubakar on the PDP ticket. We have Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu on the APC ticket. Then we have the people, technically, because Peter Obi is just the face for the youth. Peter Obi is the candidate on the Labour ticket, but really it's Nigerians that are going into this election. So for me, that's just one difference happening for 2023.
But on that particular area, if they had the debate before their candidates came through, Nigerians were still not going to vote. It's still up to the party, and at the primaries, they will eventually select. So how would that have changed the voting procedure, even if they held the debate before the primaries?
No, part of having debates or conversations around candidate selection is also about informing public about the process and also providing them strategies in terms of how they will engage. I mean, with the energy we're engaging the process post-primary, if we also put that energy pre-primaries, we would have gotten the candidates we want, not just at the presidential levels, but even across all boards. Nigerians need to learn to also engage candidate selection process. So know who are the delegates that are going to vote your presidential candidate, for example. Know who are the delegates that are going to vote your governorship candidate, for example. Know who are the delegates that are going to vote for your senators and your House of Assembly. It's important. When you leave, and I think part of our challenge generally has been the focus at the national, the federal level, leaving the foundation, like the cell of Adama, leaving the foundation. And meanwhile, we need to start from the foundation. If you leave that foundational third level and you move to the national, you will never get the result you want. You need to engage right from the foundation, right from the base, to be able to get the result. So follow the process, because it's a process. Follow the process to get the result that you want.
We'll get back to Madam shortly, but there's some of the issues that she has raised, Prof. You want to respond to some of them, especially concerning the voting pattern and all of that. And quite a number of people have raised issues around the delegates not being able to prosecute issues with the candidates before selecting them for their parties.
See, the candidates were pre-selected through politics. They already know who they will vote for. They camp them separately. Can you get it? They keep them off from discussing with other people. So they are bought over, give them money. I didn't say money. But.
Oh, you just said bought.
Okay. So if you think the delegates are free-minded, if they are free-minded, they can't be there. They must have been purchased in court before they go there and camp and cut off from other groups. so that they will be matched pinned to the election center. That's all. So the selection itself is not free. Many people that were selected or elected were on the monetocracy arrangement. The delegates that has the bigger money will win the bigger vote.
So does it mean that debates at that level will have little or no impact?
At where they were, many people did not hear what they were saying. They had determined because they were brought from home, I mean their states, to come and prosecute an agenda. So which debate are you talking about?
But does that rule out the need for political debate at that level? You know,
no, it's necessary. It's part of this. It's part of the process.
She also talked about the need to know who these delegates are, the need for Nigerians to know who these delegates are, so that the process is more transparent.
How will you know them? Don't you, when they were doing the delegate election, the APC, were you not hearing some people cannot write their names? Are those the people they will debate to? Did they hear banteration? No banteration.
But should Nigerians now demand some form of accountability from the political parties such that they ask that the names of these delegates be published?
Will you not be exposing them to another danger? And for what reason? For what reason? To publish them before you'll be exposing them to danger. Because after the election, supposing those you supported did not win, and you are looking for something from those that win, they will brand you as a rebel.
Perhaps the question Bukola is asking is, if we knew that, my apologies, Prof, if we knew the delegates ahead of time, they would be a lot more cautious to receive gratification for voting. They would not be able, they will be careful to sell their votes, if I can say that, you know, in a manner of speaking. Because if people know, if you know that you are going to represent some people and people are watching you, when you get back, you have to account. So that to a large extent might reduce the issues of exchange of all kinds of currencies during the process.
Yeah. All right, I will not oppose to something that will bring sanity to Nigeria. But my only fear and doubt is, will it work?
Well, knowing the delegates is different from knowing how the delegates voted. Two different things there.
Interesting. Thank you very much. the delegates at that time are politician, not politician. No. They are politicians. Because if you look at I don't know, because I don't usually rely on rumor. If you see the pattern of the alleged voting pattern of the APC delegate, you will see that even from Lagos, not everybody voted for Asiwaju.
Have you been voting yourself, Prof, in general elections?
I said so now, that since 2011, since 1993, I've been participating in elections. What made the difference was 2011, I went home, my hometown, to go and register. Because those I've been voting for, in Lagos, I don't know them. Let me go and vote for or vote against those that I know. So I went straight home, my hometown, Sauke, Ward 7, Ward 7, in Obokun local government. That's where I vote. They will be expecting me to come home.
So what is the fundamental challenge that you may have seen in those elections that you think we need to correct?
Did you know that many people that vote don't know reasons why they are voting in these days? All is they are waiting for, yes, stomach infrastructure, either before or after they cast their vote. It's as bad as that. Many people don't know the reason why they vote.
Is that, just a quick one on that question before we go back to Madam, is that a reason for voter apathy in Nigeria? There's a high level of voter apathy. What, in your opinion,
what you don't know, what you have not asked question for, is justifications for people registering for elections. Do you know people register because they will ask them voters cards in the hospital, at embassies, in schools, or for some other things? So whether they use it to vote or not use it to vote, that is another thing. But many people have reasons for registering. So when we are talking of voter apathy, yes, if you look at the total number of voters and the percentage of voters, you'll be able to come into that conclusion. But many people had registered not with an intention to vote, but because of ability to gain access to some facilities.
Are Nigerians perhaps aware of the implications of another round of voter apathy? You know, because if they don't get it right now, that's another 8 years of where we are. You know, talking about the same thing. Do you think Nigerians will vote to effect that desired change in 2023?
You see, there are some questions about this country that are difficult to be answered in affirmative. Look at Ekiti election. I predicted the election. I used to send it to Mrs. Otaibi. If you look at survey I conducted, Shegun. And on the day of I was monitoring from the screen at home. If you see a lot of youth, I say, yes, Shegun has got it today. Thinking those youth were for him, only for the results to be coming out. Now I have some platform that I forward election results to. Let me tell you, by the time the first slot of results I forwarded, some people said, no, this cannot be true. This cannot be this cannot be that. But it was later found to be true.
Was it in line with your prediction?
It was in line with my prediction. I predicted, you know, as somebody who has been following elections, my integrity at stake. I gave space to Shegun, but I later made final conclusion that Biodun Yebanji will win.
We'll see if we can get a prediction from Prof about the next elections. Of course, you saw that
the general elections,
the
presidential election.
Well, we will see if it won't be too early to get a prediction. But, well, Princess, when you say that we left that stage of trying to make the process a little more transparent before the primaries and then the candidates emerge, but what about those who argued that, well, yes, that may have happened, and we didn't follow through with that. Insofar as the parties have elected whoever they have elected, we'll still have different choices when it now comes to when Nigerians will make that choice. Does that in any way cover up for whatever happened at the first instance, if it could be described as some sort of lapses? All right, we'll try and sort that out. So, Prof, we'll see if that prediction will come through. But for now,
I will analyze for you here
of how the whole thing will go.
The next election.
Okay, go ahead.
Presidential election.
Yeah.
You see, I don't know how it will work. I don't know how it will work. The alleged working relation between Kwakwanso and Obi. You know, the two of them are inordinately ambitious politicians. If they can work together.
Why are you not in it?
How will Kwakwanso bow for Obi? How will Obi bow for Kwakwanso? You will call me or I will call you later that it's an alliance that has failed from the beginning. It's not likely. As at last night, Kwankwaso was giving Obi, come and be my vice. Obi that is already been seen as president, if God wants it, will now bow for Kwankwaso. So why not Kwankwaso bow down for? So it's an alliance that will fail. Look at the Wike Atiku matter now. You get it? We don't know where it will go to. Wike has been playing politics twice. and you think you will be so easily forgiven and become a DG and work tirelessly, that's a nod. Fortunobo, as at this morning, is facing a lot of problems. You know, the power was ceded to him by the northern oligarchy. Now we have ceded power to you. You must give us, because northern said, you must give us a Muslim ticket. Like you said earlier, religion is becoming an issue, which shouldn't be. Can you get it? Christians want to be somewhere, Muslims want to be represented. What of Babalawo? Babalawo will come up too. Eh? The Sago people will come up too. Then make the issue difficult. As at this morning, the governor said, we fought for you. If we had fought for you, you must pick one of us as a compensation for supporting you. So as at this morning, the road is still not clear for the three of them. But if they are able to resolve, all these problems, which are possible in politics, you can't trust any politician totally.
Let's make it more straightforward now. Are you predicting a 3-horse race then? And is it likely to go into a runoff?
There's no any other horse again.
Okay.
There's no any other horse again.
Will there be an outright win?
Too early. Don't let people quote me that I came here to say it's too early.
So what should they quote you for now?
They should quote me. If it's close to that time, you can invite me. I will tell you when.
So now you're saying that
It will be 3-horse race.
3. Not 4.
Who is the third?
Who will be the 4th? Kwakwanso.
Well,
there are 2. Some will say that those are the 4 major.
Different running mates now.
If they pair, it will shake the 2 bigger parties.
So but you have said that you don't see that happening.
I can't say.
Okay. Let's go back to.
So for now, let's zone it to 3 serious ones. Kwankwaso will be hibernating over there. Although Obi might be hibernating around this place too, the northeast, southeast, but we'll be able to snatch votes here and there from the refugee youths.
Well, there are those. Anyway, we'll come back to you on that one. Let's go back to Madam. Well, speak to, because we are trying to explore the leadership recruitment process now. You've talked about electoral education. Now, there are those who have dichotomized voter education from political education. And you said the other time that the boat sailed after when we didn't get the understanding of what the contestants or contenders, had in mind before they became candidates. What education do Nigerians need now in order to not vote per sentiments, but per needs, per performance?
Right now, Nigerians already made up their minds about their candidates. If you follow the words on the streets and if you follow the words on social media, it's clear who Nigerians have their candidates. And there's no, for the rural Nigerians, so the way elections plays out is this. Usually urban Nigerians don't vote. So the middle class and the upper class, they don't vote. So the people that usually tend to vote are the lower class, so people with lower income that vote. And because of that, it's always easy to buy their votes. So for rural Nigerians, it's clear how that's going to play out. So for lower class, it's clear how it's going to play out. But this time around, when the middle class decide to come up, so the middle class also includes the educated youth, the ones championing the movement for a new Nigeria, to rescue Nigeria. Those ones, when they march to the polls, then the story will change. And the change is going to happen in 2023. It's going to depend on them. So the youths in charge of the movement today, They are the ones that are creating the structure for the change they want. They are the ones mobilizing. They are the ones doing the education already, and they know the way they are conducting their education. So in terms of the usual civic or voter education, it won't work now. Because the reality on ground is that Nigerians are poorer than the world before. You're going to be talking to somebody that can't eat, that, don't take inequity. People were selling votes for 10,000. That is the highest we've experienced at the polling unit, 10,000 per vote. Are you going to tell somebody that does not have food at home and has probably 10 children or 5 children that they shouldn't take 10,000 to go and cook for their kids? No. And why polling unit voters collect 10,000 for votes or 5,000 for votes? Delegates, we saw them sell their votes. We had of $50,000. So Nigerians sell votes at different levels, except those that are passionate or invested in change, like we're saying with the movement. So people that are the ones driving this movement already invested in doing all the mobilization, the organizing, the all rallies across the country. Those people are not going to sell their votes. They already decided on who they want to vote. The thing to look at for now, will they be able to pull it through? Will they be able to win the elections? And for me, it's not a 3-man race. It's actually a 2-man race. So the people versus the politicians. So it's going to win. Is it the youth mobilizing that will win this election, or the establishment, the traditional politicians that we know? We all know this by come February next year, when the results will come out, who won the elections. But in terms of political education now, you can't get it. You cannot tell somebody not to sell their votes when the higher people have already sold for dollars and thousands of dollars. Or when you have people already selling, and both sellings are different levels. You have people that probably all block is what they are selling for if they're delivering a region or delivering a state. Somebody that can deliver a state, it's not 10,000 you give the person, and it's not $50,000 you give the person. Somebody that will deliver a region during an election is definitely not that amount. So everybody sells. It's just that we tend to concentrate on polling unit voters who bother to actually come out to vote, unlike those ones that sell and get more money that don't even bother to come out to vote. So these are actually the dynamics that are at play right now. So the race is actually between the Nigerian young people, the youth mobilizing and championing a new movement for a new Nigeria, versus the old establishment politicians. So who wins this race, we will know come February 2023.
All right, in conclusion, Prof, you said something in passing, which may be connected to vote buying and what happens. You said, well, some persons, if you want to vote party A, vote here or line up here.
Okay.
How does that, is that how it works?
No, it's not line up.
What was
Register. I think that's the word you use.
There are registrations, voting registration area within voting registration area. Put party A, if you want to vote for them, there were two arrangements. Eyewitnesses. It's not that anybody told me or I read it up. If you want to vote for party A, 5,000. As you vote, you get it. You get it. Party B, after voting, because we write your name down. If there is a relationship between the names down, can you get it? And the total number of votes cast for the candidates, 10,000. So if you can exhibit waiting game, you are stand to gain 5,000. But if you are not willing to wait, you get your 5,000 as soon as you vote. I witness it.
On election day?
On election day. On election day.
Were there no security people around? Did they not witness that process?
They won't know where they are registered, it was in a classroom. They were registering. So as soon as the vote was announced, the results, I said, what happened? They now told me that those who registered there are going to collect their 10,000 naira.
What year was this, just to be clear?
This last election.
2019.
The Ekiti election?
Yes. No.
Okay,
Were INEC officials aware of this?
How would they be aware of where they register? No, they are ignorant of it. That's not true. They have people who are working for politicians. As they are coming, two options. Which option will you take? option A or option B. Then you register. So they were rushing.
I asked a question earlier. I'd like to ask it again. What about the security operatives within that area? Were they just looking away? It's impossible to say that they were not aware.
There are some abracadabra in politics. I've told you politics. With the security of people be following them around. Can you get it? There are arrangements. Vote, write your name down here. Go and vote, 10,000 naira. Like we are 4 here now. 4 here. And delegate should come to us. If you vote for me, we are 2. And I have 2. It means I won't give you money. Because I'm not sure of who had voted for me. But if I have 3, you get it. I will give you money. I will risk the remaining one. I think I've won. So many things are happening. Many things. Like the Ekiti. I saw where some people were arrested. As soon as they cast their vote, they go somewhere and collect their money. And they were writing, their own registration was after the vote. Because they would tally the amount collected and the amount of votes cast. So they are even being accountable when they are not doing something in an accountable way.
All right. Professor Michael Oni is of Political Science, Babcock University. He was giving us some even on-field analysis.
Public admin.
And public admin. So there you go, with some predictions going on too. Thank you very much indeed, Prof. And we also had Princess Hema Abels, who was the director of Electoral Hub. So do we have some comments coming through?
Well, we do have them, but we are completely out of time. Professor Enakena, Law Afacross, Temi Tokwe, Olodo Esquire, thank you so much for your comments this morning. Oh, there's one of them there. Imonoka says, we must become clever than we have been, more courageous, greater in spirit and intelligence. We must become members of a new race, overcoming petty prejudice, owing our ultimate allegiance to leaders with capacity and not political parties in building a new Nigeria.
All right. That is the show today. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you next time. I'm Chamberlain Oso.
Have a wonderful day. I'm Ayo Makinde.
Yeah, I'm Bukola Samuel Wanimo. Thank you for